Hello, and welcome to my second video where we'll discuss, well, what are we going to discuss? Well, we're gonna discuss this rather important question: what to do with the two cards we get in the beginning. So, as you may notice, we can use three cards. Like, three cards are really good at the start. It's usually gonna be first the camo to hide our buildings, and the second would be Blitz, so we can get our buildings faster up. As well, some guys thinking they get money more, but they don't actually, just they rather get it a bit sooner. And the third would be Decrypt. So, and as we're going to play out this ranked match, which is indeed ranked, so I don't know, I don't have any reads on what my opponent is going to do. We're just gonna use the Decryption versus Blitz, and how does that add up? So, let's start real slow into the game, as we're going to figure out what we're going to do. So it's been 5 seconds, we have dropped 2 supply depots, the armor base, and well, our opponent hasn't dropped anything yet. So he's doing Blitz, so his strategy is going to be Blitz. He's big at Blitz. He's like the Pokemon guy. He's just, I'm gonna Blitz because I can do it. I can get my buildings up fast. So we haven't really decided what we're going to do yet. We're gonna drop camo as the camo is standard. He drops camo as well, so he's dropping camo and Blitz. And instead of going Blitz, we're going to choose a Decryption. So why is Decryption so much better than Blitz? Well, you can see in this match. So I've decided to build an armor base, right? And 2 depots, and I figure it should be barracks. Yeah, it's barracks. So we're gonna armor base, 2 supply depots, and a barracks. Pretty standard opening for any German. On this map it's pretty good to control all sides and like that. So, but we're seeing this rather conspicuous looking arrow near the mill, and then I go just, wow, I know what my enemy is going to do. So if you're like new to the game and focusing on the things, you could probably just, I will make tanks, I don't need to know what my enemy is doing, I just rather stick to my build, and that's all and great. If you really know what you're going to do and stick with your game plan as needed, you can get things right. If you're like, I will build armor base, barracks, then I'm going to make some couple of panzers, try to harass, then upgrade my infantry, secure the town, then I will get a 3rd depot. That's a game plan. You already know what you're doing. But if you want to play a level higher and kind of exploit the enemy the way to kind of counter the actions he does, you just need pretty much to use Decryption every time, because it just gives you immense information into what your opponent is going to do, and he's basically going to play your game. He's going to make his game plan, and you will going to play his game, but a level higher, knowing what to expect. So let us proceed rather by this long speech to actually see what we're going to do. And we automatically cancel the armor base, and we see here comes the 2 supplies. Then we're going to do, oh, what do I need to build, what do I need to build, what do I need to build? Well, oh no, it's already aircraft coming out. We don't have anything except the racks. So let me just fix my speed up here. So we're gonna do, let's do airfield, because airfield makes sense. If your enemy is going airfield and you know it, you must counter it immediately. So, he's American, right? So what do Americans do when they build airfields? Do they go for like fighter bombers right away so they can, I don't know, zone more efficiently? Do they go for fighters to snipe off your trucks? No, they do just one simple thing. They really will want to take off your depot, and you're just gonna be staying helpless there. No, please, no, my depot, no. So I immediately go airfield and immediately start producing fighters. Like, I don't care. Like, at this point, you really don't care. You see, there's two planes. One of them is like recon and one of them is like bomber, and the second bomber is coming out. Like, the shit's gonna hit the fan real soon. So, first thing, get fighters. So we already see the grasshopper. We immediately have to get this grasshopper down. So, and I don't know why he's doing that. He actually put down a fighter there, which is rather bad for us. And, well, we kinda think that, whoa, we beat his recon, oh, he got our plane. So, he's already ahead. He's gotten one of our fighters down. So, but what we did is manage to get his recon to retreat, which may be more valuable, as he in fact destroying that enemy fighter plane. So these two are bombers, right? He's just gonna produce one fighter, one grasshopper, come and zone, actually kind of give away what he does, because if he's gonna just sit in dark, I wouldn't know that either. Either way, I had Decryption on, so I knew he was going for airfield. But I've seen a couple of smart guys do like fake airfield, which rather works sometimes, but, well, you never know. So, I chase his fighter, get it down, so we're pretty even on the fighter count. He doesn't have fighters, I have fighters, and I'm spamming fighters like a madman here. So I get my fighter up again. He's retreating, he's a smart man. He knows that bombers, they went kind of for it, but they can't match. They can't do anything right now when I have fighters. That's just the lost opportunity. So he's doing the smart thing and retreating those bombers as he should. Let's proceed further. We have two bombers, two fighters and three fighters, and now we can actually put on some pressure, because, well, what does he really have at this point? He has one fighter, which he produced after he's seen my fighters. He has two bombers and a recon, which basically came all the way here. Oh no, I got the shot, and just went all the way back and said, well, those guys were no good to me. So, we're gonna down his fighter. Actually, using two fighters is rather an expense. Retreating this fighter as he's alone, and we don't know what bad things might happen to him further along the road. So we may skip ahead. I'm just basically still scared and making fighters. And besides, fighters aren't really that bad. So we see these units popping up. So what the first thing do we think? You think, well, it's probably there. He made barracks, so he just, I don't know, stick to his usual opening, like, well, I'm gonna make some barracks and put some willies out, so maybe I can sneak a bomber like here using fighter escons. But no, those actually are, what do you know? What's good against planes? Yeah, the Americans, and American epically M16, I believe it is. Yep, and I do a spy action just to confirm that those are not willies, and what do you know? You can actually take them down with basic fighters. I was rather surprised by that. So he has this recon plane up, and I'm just gonna basically gather around my fighters. I don't know how. At this point, I actually did not have a single idea how many fighters you need to take one M16 down. So let's do some quick recap. So we deal 75 damage to trucks, and this has like what? I don't see the resistance. Is it 400? I'm really not good at this. Anyways, I think it's good because we actually destroy like in 2 runs it. And well, yeah, so I used all my fighters. So, well, this kind of sucks at this moment because he has a fighter chasing me, but these fighters pretty fast, so no worries. Let's compare the speeds for a second. So we have 630 against his 540. So all in all, German fighters are pretty good since they can run away from things and engage when needed faster than any other epically fighters like the Russian $15 ones, the Ishaks, which are notoriously slow for doing anything. So, since we can't win the game alone on fighters, the most rational approach is to bring in some armor. Because, well, we actually could have gone for infantry, but at that point I went, well, he has an RT base, right? We know that. He has an RT base, so M16 is gonna really cut our infantry. He's gonna make some RT, bomb us, and that will be pretty boring. So why don't just we go for direct counter and like make tanks like Tigers and shit? And well, I'm rather not fan of Tigers, so I just decide to I'm gonna just spam Panzer III, see how he deals with it. So he pretty much, when you have a the thing between Panzers and upgraded tanks is that with Panzers you can strike now, you can strike on multiple flanks, and if you fail it's just not gonna cost you really anything. Well, some points, and basically just putting him in the spot where he has to defend. So we're seeing that he's actually did some tricks here. Let's see what tricks. So I had this trick with the camo net, and I already have this neat little supply down. So because just basically my armor is here, and well, he can't run over and take it over, and he can't bomb because I have fighters in there, and he knows that. So I just rather just save up for the supply and go for it. Let's see what he has at this moment. So what do he has? So he has some bombers, some fighters, some grasshoppers, RT base, and basically radio silence in the middle to hide his neat little M16 gun, so he can probably snipe off some of my planes. So let's return to my view as I see him hiding here. So we down his fighter, I think. It's all good and fine. We tend to avoid the middle since we know there's some little M16 hiding in there. He's putting some pressure with fighters, so he thinks his 27 against 31 will be good, but they're not unless you upgrade. So German fighters really got at the start of the game. For taking down their faster, they can run away like this guy did, just saying, well, I'm not gonna do it, I'm just gonna return home, and they can do, and their fighter gets down. So pretty much in all fighter air, German air will beat American air unless he uses those good M16s, which he can't because basically Panzer III is going to zone him. I check for the supply depot here just because it makes sense. I can attack here, and he had to put some defense against this tank anyway. I'm glad he's going. By the way, when you can trade like one Panzer III against like some randomly put bunker here, it's pretty good trade. Like he's putting down a $20 building that's gonna do nothing when you know it's there against your one tank which costs $15. So you won already, even if that tank is destroyed because he's just putting money in where he doesn't need it. So we see his first armored unit, and then we're like, oh no, he has this armored unit. Did we take this depot? No, we haven't taken this depot yet. So we see, oh yeah, depot. So basically we distracted him here, put one Panzer there, destroyed some M16, I believe, maybe that was destroyed by fighters already, and we're gonna just basically kill his depot, because that's what Panzers need to do. He actually goes ahead and bombs my Panzers, which is not a bad choice, given that he really can't use his bombers anyway, effectively bombing my structures like this, or I don't know, something else. He makes my tanks retreat, and we're seeing that he has, guess what, AT guns. So AT guns is a pretty decent choice from his side, except that he now lost the supply depot, and he's now on 3 bases, as we know. He has AT, airport, and artillery. So when we think of Americans, do we think AT, RT, and airport? No, we think the barracks and, you know, the all good and the best OP Willy, which can basically run around the whole map for $5 and just reveal anything that my opponent has. Enemy opponent has. So we are already camo this sector, because no one needs to know we're putting up like a supply there for like 4 minutes or so. Makes sense. He destroys my tank, which I could have microed. I think I could have microed this tank away, but well, rather be focused on something else. So we're putting some like heavy infantry. I received that because heavy infantry is generally good. You always want to go for heavy infantry because 80 damage is good. It's a really good infantry in general. I think that Panzerschreck has the most and the best damage. I think even better than Guardia's gun if he has something. So bombing up things is always good, even if he has something. Although I don't know that the Sturm Grenadiers are probably the slowest producing infantry in the game as far as I know. So he already knows I have a depot here, but doesn't matter. We're already pumping money from it, and we pumped 100, so we're already break even in that. So, but when you camo, like if you like going out slowly, taking depot by depot and getting that edge, you need to know that if you camo the depot and he doesn't like really know about it, you're probably in good position, because you're always going to make the money back you wasted on that putting that supply depot down first. So that is all good. So we sniped some more fighters. We can also actually we can use like fighters for just engaging AT guns, because they are fast. Like they're fast, they're durable. He doesn't have enough AA to actually do some bad things to us, and we already have recon on field, so we can see his AT just go. Well, I'm just not gonna go anywhere further than Panzer III, and basically those 2 units are prohibiting him to put this depot down. And well, guess what this Panzer does then? He's prohibiting to put this depot down. He just can't go, oh well, I have $40, well, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put a depot. No, you can't, because there's a fucking enemy tank there. Makes sense, okay. And in the same way, we'll already established the 4 depots ourselves. I guess he has this depot put again? No, he hasn't. So he's basically sitting now. Oh no, I have a anti-tank base, RT base, airfield with failed bombers which haven't done shit for this game. 1 depot because, well, he already destroyed my other depot with his like 2 Panzers, and well, that's not the position you want to be in. So I accidentally get this. Well, guess what? He doesn't have a recon, so he can't engage for like, I think the full range is way wider than this. Basically, he just can't see my units, and well, if he's gonna move his only grasshopper there, well, guess what? My Fortiter is just gonna smash this grasshopper back to the ground and just go home, because 1 M16 never is gonna do much of this stuff. So he builds an anti-air bunker to protect his recon unit. So let's not make the barracks what they cost, $20, so $5 more for recon. It's $25 and $25 for like unlimited supply of cheap recons, which can allow your AT guns to actually function as properly as they should. So never mind that, we're just gonna go back to see our rather conspicuous push with infantry everywhere. That's one of the things that I rather like to do in 1v1. You just send one guy everywhere, and just like, if you're like at this position, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4 depots and an admin to his admin, and we're just gonna send one man to every corner, and I think it's gonna work like most of the times. So let's see if I actually do that. I think I may go for the towns actually, but well, he has his bombers here, and well, that sucks. So I'm not sure on how long this game is actually going to be. I take down one bomber, take down 2 bombers, his M16 doesn't even touch, and that's the game. So it was rather a long lesson on why decryption is a must, because when you know what your opponent is going to do, you're in much better shape. So let's look over the typical scores. So we have decent orders per minute as we got macro correctly. We have decent kill ratio because, well, guess what? We know what the opponent is going to do. We win in home incomes, win in home kills, and actually didn't lose very much. So, well, that's, I said, would be an easy game for us. Okay, let's see you in the next video.